and used fake documents to obtain the interview with my mother, made lurid and false claims about the royal family, which played on her fears and fueled paranoia.
Prince William, known for his dedication to carrying out his royal duties, has recently come out to speak about a matter that many have been wondering about for years. For years, the 41-year-old prince has carried the weight of royal responsibilities, intense public scrutiny, and his closely guarded personal tragedies. Now, as he approaches his 50s, Prince William is finally willing to open up and talk about the battles he has faced behind closed doors. What has Prince William admitted to? What suspicions has his revelation confirmed? Join us as we take a deep dive into this fascinating story. Prince William's revelation. As a child, Prince William had been sheltered and protected by all his family and loved by the rest of the world. But as an adult, the well-loved prince has come out to admit to a truth that many feared. Due to the traumatic events of his childhood, which included his parents' disastrous marriage and divorce and his mother's death when he was 15. For years, many had speculated that behind his dutiful life, Prince William had been hiding many struggles. Little did they know how right they were. Prince William, who was born on June 21, 1982, at St. Mary's Hospital in London, is the first child of King Charles. As a child born to the most remarkable family in the United Kingdom, one would think that Prince William's life would be closer to a fairy tale. But was that truly the case? From the moment Prince William took his first breath, his life was anything but ordinary. Despite the lavish surroundings, his mother, Princess Diana, was determined to give her sons a more down-to-earth upbringing. She took them to places most royal children never saw: homeless shelters, AIDS clinics, and even McDonald's, so they could experience the real world beyond palace walls and their privileged status. Yet despite her efforts, there were certain things that she could not protect her children from. Things like the chaotic nature of her marriage with King Charles. Furthermore, while Diana showered William with love, she also confided in him about her struggles, sometimes sharing more than a young boy should have to handle. Diana often called William her little wise old man, treating him more like a protector than just her son. And when her marriage with Prince Charles sadly came to an end, William felt the weight of his mother's sadness on his small shoulders. But nothing could have prepared him for what happened next. On August 1, 1997, Princess Diana, the most beloved royal of her time, was killed in a car crash in Paris. William, who was just 15 years old at the time, was at Balmoral Castle in Scotland with his brother Harry when his father broke the devastating news to them. The world grieved the loss of the lovely Princess Diana, but for William, the pain was unbearable. He later admitted that he spent years in a state of shock, unable to process the loss of the most important person in his life. His mother was gone, and suddenly, the young prince had to navigate the world without her. During the funeral, Prince William walked behind Diana's coffin alongside Prince Harry, Prince Charles, Prince Philip, and his uncle, Earl Spencer. The world watched on as the two young princes who were frozen in grief made that painful walk. But that was not the clear decision it seemed to be. Years later, William revealed that at the time he was torn and unsure about whether should join the procession or not. It was his grandfather, Prince Philip, who gently told him, "If you walk, I'll walk with you." William later described the experience as one of the hardest things he had ever done. After Princess Diana's death, Prince William and Harry withdrew from their duties, even though they continued to struggle with their grief in silence. For years, neither of them spoke publicly about their pain, leading everyone to believe they had overcome the pain. But shockingly, that silence took an unexpected toll on William. The Prince of Wales has made a profound revelation by talking about the burden of the tragic death of his mother. He has recently spoken openly about the deep effect that the death of his mother has had on his mental health and his personal trajectory from that point forward. This confession has invited us to see a side of him that very few people have ever seen before. It has shown us that despite his royal status, William wasn't immune to the struggles of mental health. For years, the prince had buried his emotions, believing that showing weakness was not an option. He focused on his education at Eton College and later at the University of St. Andrews, where he met his future wife, Kate Middleton. The prince threw himself into his sutures, hoping to drown out the pain. But no matter how much he tried to move forward, the grief followed him. In a recent documentary, William has shared that the shock of his mother's death is still with him. "I still have shock within me. People say it can't last that long, but it does," he told the BBC One documentary, Mind Over Marathon, airing on Thursday. Prince Harry, the brother of Prince William, also added that it was only right to talk about painful memories. Williams, who is now the Duke of Cambridge, told the BBC that he had to learn to deal with the loss of a parent despite how it weighed against his heart. In a moment of vulnerability, he emphasized that the shock is the biggest thing he still felt 20 years later about the death of his mother. He went on to describe it as something one never gets over, and a moment in your life so unbelievably big that it never leaves you. William says he even felt his mother's presence at his wedding to Kate at Westminster Abbey in 2011. A look at Prince William's growth as a royal. Owing to Princess Diana's way of raising her children, which was unconventional for the royal family, Prince William and Prince Harry had grown up as humble, confident young men. However, with her death, many things were once again done by the book. William was educated at prestigious institutions, beginning with the Jane Minor Nursery and continuing on to the Wetherby Preparatory School in London. He had access to private schools and tutoring, a situation that was necessary for the tasks that lay ahead for him later in life. He continued to follow in the footsteps of royal before him until his adulthood. For his advanced level at Eton College, William concentrated on the study of geography, biology, and the history of art. Williams was a bright student. His academic accomplishments included not only a grade of A in geography, but also a grade of C in biology and a grade of B in art history. He showed a great interest in leadership, becoming the captain of the swimming team and the football team at his school. His remarkable performances in water polo also made him stand out during his time at Eton. The decision to send William to Eton was a departure from the customary practice of sending royal descendants to Gordon Town, which was a school that both his father and grandfather had a strong preference for. His brother and Diana's father were both former students at Eton's academic institution. Prince William had taken a different route in exchange for providing regular updates to his family on his life. The royal family and the sensationalist media came to an agreement that William would be required to maintain his privacy while pursuing his education. The head of the Press Complaints Commission, John Wake, ensured that during his higher education, Prince William was to be viewed as a young man who was going through a crucial phase of development, rather than as a public figure or celebrity. This was done in order to emphasize the significance of his academic years. However, William's life as a student was not entirely rosy. During his time as a student, the prince encountered a number of difficulties, one of which was a serious head injury. The head injury that Prince William sustained in June 1991 was brought on by a co-worker who was driving a golf cart. Prince William was admitted to a royal hospital as a result of the injury. The depressed skull fracture that he sustained resulted in him having to undergo surgery at Great Ormond Street Hospital. The injury left a permanent scar on his head, but that was not the end of his troubles. Once again, Prince William got into an accident. He ended up breaking a finger in 1999, which led him to undergo surgery on his hand to prevent further damage. After completing his studies at Eton, William decided he would like to pursue a career in the military. During the years that Prince William was in training, the official divorce between Prince Charles and Princess Diana took place. This event had a significant impact on Prince William, both emotionally and mentally. It became necessary for Prince William to take on a protective role towards his younger brother and mother because he felt the need to shield them from the media.
She was failed not just by a rogue reporter, but by leaders at the BBC who looked the other way rather than asking the tough questions.
Prince William was forced to spend his adolescence under constant public pressure as a result of the increased media attention that was directed towards the royal family, particularly towards William and his brother Harry. According to William, this experience shaped his perspectives on privacy and his relationships with the media. Prince William's perspective on relationships and marriage was also shaped by the fact that he was present during the dissolution of his parents' marriage. As a result, he approached his romantic relationships with caution and self-reflection. Ultimately, he was able to balance his public responsibilities with his personal life as a result. The separation of his parents and its consequences also played a role in shaping Prince William's understanding of his future role within the royal family, and the charitable work that his mother did served as a source of inspiration for Prince William, who went on to follow in his mother's footsteps as he grew older. Breaking the silence and advocating for mental health. In recent years, Prince William has become one of the leading voices in mental health awareness. According to sources, the Duke of Cambridge has opened up about the death of his mother Diana and his struggles with mental health in a bid to end the stigma around grief and mental health. In an interview with GQ, the Prince, in a powerful moment, admitted that being open about his struggles has been life-changing. He no longer sees vulnerability as a weakness, but as a strength. He went on to reveal that he is in a better place than he had been for a long time, where he can talk about his deceased mother more openly, more honestly, and he can remember her better and publicly talk about her better. Continuing with his honesty, Prince William once again pointed out that it had taken him almost 20 years to get to that stage of acceptance and openness. He further revealed that sometimes he still finds it difficult, because at the time, it was so raw. He also revealed how difficult it was to mourn his mother, highlighting the fact that it was unlike most people's grief because everyone else knew about it. Everyone knew the story, and everyone knew her. Prince William had struggled with the publicity of his mother's death and the news released on different tabloids. His only escape had been to become silent. But that was not all.
Not only let my mother down and my family down, they let the public down too.
The prince went ahead to tell GQ he was sad that his wife Kate, the Duchess of Cambridge, and his children Prince George and Princess Charlotte never got to meet his mother. He added that would have liked to have had her advice, and would have loved her to have met Catherine and to have seen his children grow up. Undoubtedly, Prince William was openly sad that she would never get to do any of these things, and that his beautiful family would never know Princess Diana. He had revealed this to journalist and politician Alastair Campbell. Although the prince had broken his silence on his grief, he did not stop there. Alongside his brother, Prince Harry, and his wife, Catherine, Princess of Wales, he launched the Heads Together campaign in 2016, with the goal of breaking the stigma around mental health and encouraging people to seek help when they need it. William has been shockingly honest about his own struggles, and he longs to encourage others to follow in his footsteps. The prince was quoted to have said, "Mental health was a great taboo. If you were anxious, it's because you were weak. But of course, we all do. It's just that few of us speak about it." He also criticized the culture of toxic masculinity that made it difficult for men to speak out about their mental health issues. Since then, William has helped launch major mental health initiatives, including Shout, a 24/7 crisis text support service for people struggling with mental health. He also established Mental Health at Work, a platform providing support for employees and employers. He has gone a step further by having open discussions with athletes, celebrities, and mental health professionals to encourage open conversations about mental well-being. Prince Harry and his grief. Much like Prince William, Prince Harry battled with the grief of his mother's passing for many years. However, interestingly enough, the younger prince seemed to have handled his own grief a little differently from his brother. The way Prince Harry handled his grief would not only leave you shocked, but also make you understand why he is different from William. In a recent interview, Harry made it clear he buried his grief much deeper than his brother, Prince William, and so finally unearthing it years later was all the more painful. The therapy that he sought at William's suggestion brought home the enormous emotional burden he had carried as a boy. The stark contrasting effects on the boys may be partly explained by their respective ages at the time of Diana's death in August 1997. Harry, just 12, was arguably too young to fully comprehend the enormity of what had happened, and said he even came to believe that not having a mum was normal. But that was not the most surprising part. Harry went on to reveal that he has cried only twice since his mother's death, a remarkable admission when set against the national outpouring of grief at the time. The prince cried for the first time during the funeral and then once after it. Watching a nation pouring its collective heart out, Prince Harry candidly recalls wondering how it was possible that so many people could be crying and showing so much emotion. Harry says his 12-year-old self was baffled by the fact that strangers who had never met his mother seemed to feel more deeply about her than he did. This was something noticed by the media, as the royal family was initially criticized for being out of touch with public grief after Diana's death by staying in Balmoral. After the Westminster Abbey funeral, Diana was laid to rest in a private service on an island on a lake at Althorpe House, Spencer's ancestral home near Northampton. Although it was regarded as over, the pain was still present for the two princes. Earlier this year, Harry once again spoke about shutting down all of his emotions for nearly 20 years, and how hard it is to understand what the psychological effect of that detachment would be on such a young boy. It makes his recent admission that he came close to a breakdown in his late 20s all the more powerfully moving. Now more open about the situation, Harry spelled out his pain in extraordinarily intimate details, explaining how he missed the first and most basic comfort a child can know, the loving hug of a mother. He went on to describe Princess Diana as the best mother in the world and a great hugger. As he spoke in the interview, Prince Harry, in a moment of heartwarming vulnerability, revealed that he misses that part of the family. Harry continued to say his mother is a constant presence in his thoughts, as she is in William's, a fact that does little to dull the pain. He shared that there's not a day that he and the older prince do not wish she still was around, and they wonder what kind of a mother she would have been now, what kind of a public role she would have, and what a difference she would be making. Although Prince William's journey has been full of both privilege and pain. From his early years as a young prince to the tragic loss of his mother, Diana, and the grief he has faced while carrying the weight of royal duty. In recent years, he has chosen to turn his pain into purpose. Through his openness about grief and mental health, Prince William is seeking to change what it means to be a modern royal, one who leads not just with duty, but with empathy and understanding. Now, as a devoted husband to Catherine, Princess of Wales, and a loving father to Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, William is determined to create a future where emotional well-being is prioritized, both within his own family and across society. His honesty about his mother's death and its lasting impact shows just how far he has come, from a boy burdened by grief to a man who is finally ready to heal and help others do the same. He continues to express compassion for those who go through the private land of grief hidden from the public eye, and he extends understanding and solidarity to those who have stories of loss that have not been told. Prince William has gone a long way in honoring his mother's legacy, which he described as enduring, by preserving her values and holding the things she left to him in inheritance dear. As he prepares for his future role as king, one thing is certain. Prince William is not just leading with tradition, he is leading with heart. So what do you think about the revelation from Prince William? Do you think he is handling his grief better now? Don't hesitate to share your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click on the following videos shown on your screen. You will enjoy it.